Hi freshmen, this is my final video to you guys, and I just wanted to say a couple things as we close out the school year. If you have any, first of all, let's just get through the kind of the logistics stuff. If you have any textbooks from my class or library books, make sure that you bring them when you do your checkout. I don't know what days the freshmen are going to check out, but bring anything for English that you might have that might be property of the school, both for the library or the book room or anything you may have borrowed from me personally. I may or may not be there during one of the time slots that you're coming, and hopefully I will be if you'll be when you guys are there too. So I just wanted to say thank you for being so engaged, and I said this to your parents in an email, but I was so impressed with how the freshman class of my students conducted themselves with the remote learning, and in many weeks you had more participation than my AP students, and so I was really surprised and honored that you would take my class so seriously in this kind of interesting time. And I think I told you at the beginning that when I was a freshman in high school was the year that 9/11 happened, and how that changed the world. And so I still remember when I was a kid where you could go to the gate and wait for people. And after 9/11, of course, that was no longer allowed. And so this obviously is going to change our normal again, and you're freshmen just the way I was. So I kind of been thinking about you in that sense. And we've had a little bit of a strange year, 3A and 4A. You guys had Miss Young as my student teacher who taught a large amount of the class, and then everybody had Mr. Barnes when I went on my maternity leave for Sam. And it was just so awkward to then only come back for 2 class periods with you before we all left. So thank you for being flexible, and thank you for being understanding. Thank you for kind of rolling with it like I've been. And I really appreciate that resilience that you each have. And I'm confident that you'll be able to demonstrate all those skills as you move on to 10th grade and whatever that looks like next year. Hopefully we'll be in the building, or we'll be in the building for a portion of time, and I hope that you come to find me and come say hello, because I would love to see you again. I'm sad that we couldn't do that in person. So please come find me when you have the opportunity. I'm sure I'll be in the same general area as far as classrooms go. I can't imagine they'll be shaking it up too much for classrooms in between sessions here. The last couple of things here, I've had a lot of people turn in the last discussions and the last quizzes for week 7 and 8. I remember that the final kind of week was supposed to be next week, and we really needed to have instruction wrapped up by the end of this week. So these 2 are kind of extra, and that would just be you finishing the book and finishing any activities to go with it. I did make a video last week about kind of some final instructions. One thing I added though this week is an end of the year survey. The other teachers in the 9th grade put this together, and we wanted you to fill that out just for our own learning, for our own data as we move forward in planning for next year. Always good information for us to hear your voice in that. And please be honest. We're big kids, and we truly use your honest feedback for planning for next year. Okay, so that was one thing that I added to the folder for this week. I will be working on your grades throughout this week and next week, basically up until the last minute, making sure that I haven't missed anything that you've turned in. If I haven't graded something from way long ago as far as remote learning, like in weeks 1, 2, 3, or even 4, please email me. With all my students doing everything online, I'm bound to miss 1 or 2 here and there. Most of you have been really good about emailing me and say, hey, can you double check, because I think I turned that in and you inevitably had, and I just missed it. So if you think that's you, just email me and I'll go back and double check and make sure I get my records straight. So I'll be working on that through the end of next week. And again, thank you for just being so engaged in this and really working to improve your grades while we've been in this situation. I hope you like the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. It's one of my favorites. I think it's a totally different way to read, and a different voice to hear, which we don't always have. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, please reach out if you have any questions regarding the end of the year here. And I wanted just to say my sincere thank you and a goodbye, really, as we leave. Thank you, and I'll be seeing you soon.